Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Driven Shot podcast. I will be your host today. My name is Peter Muneme, also known as Barça DNA on Twitter, and I'll be covering the match review of Barcelona's 3-2 triumph against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. So let's get to it. Well, honestly, we start with the first half, and I thought that in the first half, it was a really good first half from Barcelona. I think they were very much in control of the game from the moment the match began. Barca were dominant, they were calm, they were composed on the ball. Real Madrid began the game, and I think as well, without Mbappe to start, they really struggled. It almost seemed as if they set out to contain Barcelona rather than play their own game. And so for the first half, Barcelona had complete control of possession. They dictated the tempo very well. I thought personally, Pedri and Dani Olmo had a field day. They were finding space in between the lines, Frenkie de Jong as well. At times, they were having so much time and space to run, drive in between the lines, take 1, 2, 3 touches there. They were able to create at will. At times, they were moving in behind, they were getting into the good areas. I think for Barcelona, what they were missing was a bit of sharpness. I think what they were missing in that first half was a bit of cohesion between the front three. And, well, it all changed with Pedri's goal. And first of all, before we even get on to Pedri's goal, we start with Pau Cubarsí, who I thought had a fantastic game today, but in that first half in particular, the play he makes to initially block the pass there from Bellingham, who's trying to release Vinicius, is brilliant. It's a wonderful block. He gets the ball over to Pedri. Pedri receives it, he turns, plays a wonderful ball over the top into the path of Lamine Yamal. And what I love about this goal is that Pedri keeps running. He doesn't slow down, he doesn't stop. He plays the pass, he doesn't sit back and admire his pass. He makes a 30, 40 yard run from the halfway line into Real Madrid's half, towards the edge of the box. And Lamine Yamal, when he receives the ball, this kid is just, he's beyond amazing. He plays with a maturity that is so far above his years. He has so much composure when he receives the ball. He squares up Fran Garcia 1v1, doesn't rush anything, doesn't force anything. He just squares him up, he squares him up, he waits, and he picks the perfect moment to release the pass. We saw this earlier in the season, by the way, against Sevilla, where Yamal receives the ball, takes his time, squares up his opponent, plays a lovely ball towards the edge of the box. It's just laid there. On this occasion, it was Koundé against Sevilla who dummied it for Pedri to strike. On this occasion, there was no dummy. It wasn't needed. It was a really good ball right at the edge of the box. And the strike from Pedri, for me, this is arguably the goal of the season. Because Pedri takes this so well. He takes this so well. It's a clean strike right through the ball. It's guided into the top corner. And that's Courtois, by the way. One of the world's best goalkeepers, especially when it comes to stopping those sorts of shots, when it comes to making extraordinary dives, given his height, given his frame. For Pedri to caress the ball the way he did into the top corner was absolutely amazing. A brilliant goal from Pedri, one that really shows how good of a player he is. And Barcelona at that point were in dreamland. Real Madrid, their only real moments of danger came when they were trying to find gaps in between Barca's high line. They were trying to find spaces into the channel, especially given that Balde wasn't present. They were trying to take advantage of that and release midfielders, and the likes of Rodrigo and Vinicius were trying to peel off Inigo Martinez and receive the ball there from essentially either goal kicks or balls over the top. That was their game plan. And for the most part, it didn't cause Barcelona any issues. There was the odd occasion where they got in behind and tried to do something. They tried to produce some sort of cutback. It never worked. And Barca, for the most part, defended well. I think for Barcelona, though, what would bother them is that they didn't close out the first half stomping on Real Madrid. They didn't quite take advantage and make it 2-0. They came very close. It was Dani Olmo corner, which was whipped into the box there. Madrid at 6s and 7s. They don't defend it well. The ball just trickles across the face of goal, bounces there, hits the post. There's a possible shout for a penalty kick on Kubarsi. It seems like he was being held, but nothing was given. Play goes on. And ultimately, I think Barca ended the first half there feeling as if that they probably deserved more. They probably deserved more than just the one goal. At halftime, I thought Real Madrid were proactive. They reacted well. Carlo Ancelotti right away brings on Mbappe. I was surprised that he brought on Mbappe for Rodrigo and didn't go with the front four. He went with the front three. I think he learned his lesson knowing that Barca would tear his team apart if he didn't stack that midfield. And so Mbappe came on and it was a completely different story. Kylian Mbappe brought so much life to the game, played with so much energy, so much dynamism. I'm actually, in a sense, I'm almost taken back by the fact that given how good he was when he did come on, at least for the opening sort of 15, 20 minutes, I'm surprised he didn't start the game. Because he looked fresh, he looked energized, he looked motivated, he came on, he was running past Inigo Martinez there, he was terrorizing Barcelona 1v1, he brought more life into the game. And I think Barcelona as well lacked an element of control, which is quite surprising given that the midfield three is the ideal midfield three, right? You've got Pedri, you've got Frenkie de Jong, you've got Dani Olmo. These are the three players who you would expect to help Barca sustain possession, control a game. But from the moment that Mbappe came on, Real Madrid were a different team, and Barcelona just couldn't cope with it. They couldn't manage themselves. They couldn't keep themselves in the match. And ultimately, in the end, they got back into the game. And credit to Kylian Mbappe. It's his first official free kick goal. He took it really, really well. I think the Barca wall didn't do themselves any favors. They didn't cover it properly. They left a massive gap there. And maybe you have questions over Szczesny as well, getting beaten at his near post. I think when as a goalkeeper, you set up that wall, you don't want to get beat at that side, at the very side which that you've set up the wall. So you've got one side covered, you've got the other side to deal with. I think from Szczesny's point of view, I think he'll be bitterly disappointed that he conceded that goal. But from that point on, it was 1-1. Real Madrid, I think, once more, they were proactive. They were the team that was engaging. They were the team that was creating. And they had Barcelona under a lot of pressure, and that pressure came through. They scored the second goal there via Tchouaméni on a set piece. And at that point, it seemed as if the game was getting away from Barcelona. But as Barca have done this season, whether it's against Celta Vigo, whether it's against Real Madrid, whether it's against Benfica, whether it's against Atletico Madrid, this team knows how to come back. They don't know how to give up at all. And that's exactly what they did. Lamine Yamal, who for me was excellent. It's another incredible game, 17 years old, and doing what he's been doing for the past year. It's beyond ridiculous. This is not normal. It shouldn't be classed as normal what him and Kubarsi are doing, what Pedri's doing. But the pass that he plays for Ferran Torres is absolutely brilliant. Perhaps you look at Courtois, right? Did he make that mistake? Did he have to come off his line to the degree that he did? But fair play to Ferran Torres. It's a brilliant run. Gets himself into a really good position, and the finish was fantastic. He took that finish really, really well and scored at an important time. He made it 2-2. We go into extra time. The game is tight. There were controversial moments there. Could Rafinha have gotten a penalty at the very last second? Was it a pen? Was it not? It was a very, very tight decision. We go into extra time. Both teams were tiring. I think you could see that in how the first half of extra time, Barca tried. They were trying. Ferran Torres, really, really close chance, gilt-edged moment there. He couldn't quite take it. Rafinha throughout the game, even in that second half, had some chances here or there, couldn't quite take it. Second half of extra time, the moment arrives. Barca just had more in the tank, just had more legs, just wanted to impose themselves more in the game. And what a moment for Jules Koundé, your first goal in a Clásico. He wins the ball there. It's a ball from Modric. Brahim Diaz is a bit asleep, doesn't recognize who's behind him. Koundé picks it up out of his feet. What a strike. If the Pedri goal was good, and I'll say it, the Pedri goal was the goal of the match, but this one was fantastic. Koundé, low-driven shot, right across Courtois, right in the corner. Massive, massive goal. And it wins Barca the Copa del Rey. What a win this is for Barca. What a win this is for Hansi Flick. What a statement this is for Barcelona, and what it does now for this team. The confidence it gives them ahead of their UCL tie against Inter Milan, and what it does for their prospects in the league as well. You saw the players for Real Madrid at full time collapsed on the floor. You saw the rage from Rudiger. You saw the rage from Vinicius. You saw players in tears. The fans were broken. And I think for Barcelona, they've likely just ended Real Madrid's season. And to do it in style, to do it the way they have throughout the entire campaign, whether it's been in the league, whether it's been in the Super Cup, and now here in the Copa del Rey, they have been fantastic against Real Madrid. They have shown grit, they've shown a sheer mentality, and they've shown as well in all three of these occasions that they can win in different ways. You saw in the Clásico there a complete demolition in the second half, winning 4-0 in that first game. You saw the Super Cup there, the mentality to come back from behind, from conceding the first goal and making the comeback to win 5-2. And now you see tonight a Warriors mentality, right? The first half goes your way. The first half you were dominant. All of a sudden you get punched in the mouth, things are bloody, you gotta work hard, you gotta show some grit. And for Barca to respond the way they did in that second half there, when it was 2-1 to Real Madrid, 10 minutes to go, they fight back, they get the equalizer, and then Koundé wins the game for Barcelona and gets them their second trophy of the season, their second out of a potential 4. A massive win for Hansi Flick, a massive statement made by Hansi Flick as the Barcelona coach, and a huge moment for these players, a well-deserved victory there over Real Madrid. What a win, what a result. Barcelona 3, Real Madrid 2. That was the Copa del Rey final. Brilliant game all around. And now we see what comes next in the Champions League. Thank you very much for watching. This is Barca DNA signing off. Barcelona 3, Real Madrid 2. Barcelona are the champions of Spain. Thank you very much, and good night.